be silent. I'm not sure.
It is silent.
Yeah, Gildor.
No, it's not.
Gildor.
Yeah, Gildor. See? Yeah, it is
Hello,
Gildor.
welcome back to the Zero Strategy Podcast,
Oh.
episode
Oh, hi.
43. We hope you're doing well today, guys. Thank you for being here. I'm joined today by my co-hosts. We have Unholy Cyber.
This is my thing, apparently.
We have Grog Mode.
Hello.
We have Medibot Eve.
Hello.
We have Sir Humps.
Hey, hey, hey.
And we have our special guest, Dragnerz.
Hello.
So, as you know, if you watch the show, we always start with a brief catch-up with everyone. So we'll quickly run through that. As always, if you have any questions for us or topics or anything you want us to comment on, please feel free to throw it in the chat and we will try and get to it. First of all, Cyber, how's your week been? What have you been up to?
This week was kind of weird. I set myself a task to self-sustain me financially. Doing graphics work.
Like, we're going green, baby.
Oh, no.
We're recycling
Hell
all of our
no.
toilet paper.
Recycling. We got one of those toilets that just like compost.
just compost.
Toilets, whatever. There you go.
And it actually worked. So I am very excited for the move to Canada. I've proved to myself that I can actually do it. So
That's awesome.
It's awesome, dude.
I streamed on Tuesday, Tarkov, and that was it. It's been a very weird work week. I'm this close to just saying fuck it, and I'm leaving my work.
But nobody here works with them.
this many fucks, honestly.
Are you gonna go out with like the half baked like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you? You're cool. Fuck you.
And then
Have a
flip the table and
soundtrack
walk
playing
out.
on your phone.
I'm gonna get like an old school boombox and just rest it on my shoulder and just be like.
Dude, I love those YouTube videos of like people bringing in like the high school band or some shit, playing them out.
Just get Mary to come in and shout at everyone.
Yeah.
She already done that once. That was a great family picnic.
They know to look out for Mary. They're like they got to look out in the parking lot. They're like, oh shit. Code M.
Grog, how about yourself? How's your week been?
Week's been pretty good. Lauren and I played more of Last Campfire this past Saturday, which is it's outstanding. If anyone is looking for a very charming game with a great narrative, fantastic storytelling, and just really satisfying puzzles, not like, oh my god, this is so hard, I'm getting frustrated, but like more like when you get it, like we've multiple high-fived on the stream, like multiple times. We're just like, yes, like we fucking crushed it. It's so good. It's the same company that put out No Man's Sky, and it couldn't be more different than like that game. It reminds me of like Breath of the Wild with like Studio Ghibli with like, I don't know, like sad anime dialogue. Like it's really it's good. It's really good.
I mean, the
And then
title could use some work though, right? Because it's not much of a Last Campfire if you played it again.
first and last campfire. It uninstalls when you're done. The other thing that happened this week was I got to release a channel trailer, which
Hey.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
It's
talking
really
about for
good.
fucking ever. Shout out to Dolly Pop on Twitch. Thank you so much for putting that together for me. Yeah, he
I
cut
think
me
you talked about that like 3 desk moves ago for me.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I've been like talking about getting it done for a while, but I finally got it done. And or rather I paid someone to get it done. And which is really why it happened, to be honest. But he did a 1-minute version and a 2-minute version, and they're great, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah, he did a really good job. Good stuff. Good stuff. Eve, what about yourself? What have you been up to?
Oh, we started a Minecraft modded server with some people, and it's been consuming my entire life.
It'll happen.
Yeah. But now I'm a blood mage, and I'm invincible to fire. I can summon water in the nether, and I can fly. So, you know.
Just a little clarification. Yeah, we're talking about Minecraft, right?
Yeah, well, you know.
I thought you like
If the
absorbed your
government's
D&D
listening, yeah, it's
character or
only
something.
Minecraft. But yeah, really, it's just been a lot of that.
Nice.
And also, I made a gruesome discovery while we were watching one of the Pokemon movies that Mr. Mime obviously has to be Ash's stepdad. We don't need to discuss that, but we can stew on it.
We need to
and move on
discuss
Humps.
that. I will be thinking about that for the rest of the day.
I'm not
We need to
thinking about
discuss
it
this.
at all. It's already left my brain.
I'm actually wearing a Miss Mime t-shirt. Go figure.
Yeah, the Pokemans. Hubs, what about yourself? What have you been up to?
I've been doing a lot of Pokemoning. Yeah, I'm a big Pokemoner. You know, I just really like the I gotta catch 'em all thing about the aspect about the Pokemons.
It's called hoarding.
And a good hoarder. No, no, fuck Pokemon. No, I say that respectfully, of course. I mean, you do you. Anyway, no, it's been good. I worked a lot last couple weeks, and I haven't been able to be on the podcast, so I'm excited to be here again. I was off pretty much. I got to stream actually last couple weeks a lot more. People giving me shit because they're like, "Oh, Humps never streams anymore." It's not my fault. All right. Are there things maybe in the work to remedy that? Who knows? It's none of your business. Stop asking me.
You're very standoffish today, Humps.
He is. We insulted Dogecoin and he's been on a rampage ever since.
Give me, to the moon, baby. We going to the fucking moon. Yeah, you want to know how my week is? Yeah, that's also what I've been doing. Investing hard in that Dogecoin, baby. You know what I'm saying?
He's made $10 and he's already made plans to buy a mansion.
The people's crypto.
Yeah, Hubs, are you able to turn your mic up at all? Just out of curiosity, because I have you maxed out here.
How's this?
Much better. Much better.
Much better.
The people's crypto.
Excellent. And Dragnerz, so obviously our guest today, thank you very much for being here. Could you tell everyone who you are, what you do on the internet, and what you're all about?
Yeah, I'm Dragnerz. I also go by Kyle, which is my real name. And I just hang out on the internet. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could say what my channel's about, but it's really just chilling, hanging out. I try to involve a lot of science and kind of education in my streams because that's what I paid a lot of money to do. And I have to use that degree somehow. And yeah, just a lot of different kinds of games, different kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I was having a little look through your channel, and I saw a lot of science and technology, like Elite Dangerous, a lot of cool stuff like that. So,
yeah, I've been recently getting into Elite Dangerous. It's really, really cool. I don't know if any of you guys have played it. It's like so
I love
fascinating. There's so much, and there's a new update coming. It's like wow.
So, how long have you been on Twitch?
I've been on Twitch for I guess a bit over a year now. Like kind of streaming. I mean, I've had an account since like 2018. But I started streaming last year around August is when I started somewhat streaming. But then I got serious around April or May.
Okay. So not too long.
Yeah, not too long. And since then I've been streaming 3 days a week pretty consistently actually. I haven't really taken a day off except to move. Yep.
And you have like kind of a unique situation with the fact that you have a stream alliance with another person.
Yeah. So when I started streaming with my my friend Selena, hi Selena, who was on the podcast a few weeks ago, and it just kind of formed out of our friendship that we were both kind of supporting each other. I had a Discord that was really like our place to hang out, and so that became our Discord when we shared our Discord to people, and over time that friendship kind of blossomed into an actual alliance where we're actually we work on projects together, we build tools together for Twitch, we think about different ideas and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a creative partnership.
Yeah, I think that's one of the good things because you can actually hold yourself accountable. Well, sorry, you hold each other accountable. I think that's what I need.
Yes. Yeah, that actually helps a lot. A lot. Because if I didn't have a strict schedule, which was also something that we discussed originally, and that we encourage each other to do, just we should keep a schedule because neither of us are gonna keep up with this if we don't. And yeah, we're just constantly encouraging each other,
and you guys alternate days, right? You you alternate your stream days to complement one another.
Yeah, we do. I mean, that's partly because we didn't want to split our community, but also because we want to be able to actually hang out in each other's streams.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I find personally that forcing each other to do only 3 to 4 days at most a week keeps us from hopefully burning out.
Mhm.
Because we don't just
Oh,
like
yeah.
stream every day, and because I would definitely get burnt out. Not that that's bad, not that people can't do that, but me personally, I think 3 days a week has been like really good for me to like just keep going and not stopping.
For sure. I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
mean,
that kind of that quality over quantity thing where you're not just
Yeah,
sitting there.
Yeah.
I, find myself sometimes like, oh, we're just playing this game and I'm not really doing anything other than just playing the game. Whereas cutting it back means you can focus on the content a bit more and hopefully, have some more engagement and things like that.
yeah, exactly. Like I personally find that like a lot of things you do off streaming is just as important as when you're live and streaming in front of the camera. Like whether it's networking, whether it's like finding other people, whether it's just talking to the Discord, or for me and us, we build a lot of tools that we're like like playing around with different interactions and things. I don't know if you guys have seen the Dragner snap thing that I've had on my channel for a while now, although I have it paused now because it's very disruptive. But basically, basically on my channel, I had a redemption that you could take a picture of me, and then I could flip to a scene that like basically recreated the Pokemon Snap, Professor Oak scoring you,
That's
and then it
awesome.
gave people points in chat.
Wonderful.
To use. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with all the voice lines. Well done. Wonderful. Wow.
The creativity that you actually have on the channel points is very like intimidating. Like the amount of time that you must have spent creating all of those, I'm
Oh
just
yeah, like we've been talking
oh
about
my
this
God.
forever, and it's like it's daunting. Look at the points because you automatically go in it not wanting to be like everyone else. You don't want the same points because that's just it seems lazy. And then you're like, well, how can I be different? And you're like, my mind is a blank. And
Yeah,
it's been a blank for a year and a half now. And so,
yeah, I definitely get that. It's just we did it one a redemption at a time. Really, it's just like we just have an idea, and I guess like we do. I personally have that mentality too of like I don't want to do the same thing. I want to iterate on things. I mean, you can't be totally unique because like everything's already been done somewhere by somebody. But I think that
Yeah.
you can still like take ideas and like think of, oh well, how could I put my own twist on that? How can I do something with that? And kind of iterate on it. And that's kind of where most of our redemptions have gone. Like a lot of my things are just things that pop up on screen or like sound effects or little animations. But like that, I've seen animations through redemptions before. It's just I've did my own thing. Like I guess one of the major things I have is I can trigger different game over screens, or rather people can. And these are just like animations that I've cut out of different video games that I've kind of like cropped and like, keyed out the background so you
Yeah.
can trigger the Ocarina of Time game over screen at any point if you want to like just kind of, you know, mess with me.
Yeah. Cyber
Well,
Cyber doesn't really use them anymore, but he had and he gave me one a long time ago, the Dragon Ball Z little overlay thing, full action.
Ooh.
Well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I've put at least about 20 new ones in
Oh,
nice.
that we can redeem. One of the issues was the bot that I was using. For some reason, it only allowed me to change the visibility rather than actually activating the filters. So if you're unfamiliar with OBS, you can actually use filters and you can change the visibility of certain scenes. And if the bot isn't like up to par with how complex OBS can be, then it all falls down. The creativity kind of hits a stopping point. But I found a new bot. I completely dissected the absolute shit out of it, and it's going well.
That's awesome.
One of the things that I really enjoy, Kyle, on your stream is there's a lot of control that happens, like not only just like with, like sort of there's a lot of like silly control that like chat can have over your channel. And I think like I've seen you rated and chat just takes over your camera and just starts zooming into parts of the screen. And like I mean, clearly a lot of them are, some of them just seem to be like kind of playful. Like you can you have a mascot, you have this dragon, and like you can kind of get them to appear on screen, and you have these wonderful animations showing them doing different things, or like, you know, like Selena has something similar on hers where like all of her little octopi like
Bob.
rain from the sky. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you have in addition to those sort of aesthetic bits of flair that can get added onto the stream. You actually give people control. So like the Pokemon, you know, like rating thing, or like the camera, like what I mean, like I guess what I'm saying is like what do you, I would get uncomfortable. If I'm stammering, it's because like the thought of it gives me like anxiety over like losing some sort of control over the stream, like while it's happening. But like clearly it works. Like
You
clearly
just
it's
gotta let
something
it
that,
go.
yeah.
Just
Yeah,
gotta let it
I
go.
mean-
You're along for the ride.
Here, I'll boost my mic a little bit.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, basically, it's lack of control. I understand completely. I actually sometimes can be like kind of obsessively like need to have control. The way I see it for my stuff is that I do have control. Like I set the parameters of things that can happen. So yeah, people have control over my screen, or like they can. So what Rob was talking about is this little guy over here, this plush cog. Cog's my dragon. You can redeem like for 5,000 points. You can like zoom the camera in onto this, and just like completely put me off screen. But like it's timed, and like when it happens, it only goes there. So it's like it's out of my control, but also it's within the control that I've relinquished. If that
Sure.
makes sense.
Sure.
So that's how like that's been okay for me. And it doesn't like it's not too chaotic. It's like gives me something that also I can play off of. You know, it's like yeah, people raid, somebody always redeems that, so it zooms in on Cog, and it's like, oh well, I guess, you know, here, this is who the stream person is. I'm just the mascot kind of thing.
I'm their sidekick. They're
Yeah.
really the star.
Yeah, this is why everybody's here. I'm just here to support the dragon over here.
It's interesting that you mentioned that as well, Grog, because it's always been a big barrier for me when coming up with channel points ideas, that I don't want to have something that's super disruptive, right? I see a lot of people, perhaps if they main a single game, they'll have points be like, oh, you can 1v1 me, or if it's Destiny, redeem this amount of points and we can go and do a raid together. And it's like, for me, I don't want to stop what I'm doing to go and deal with a channel point thing too
Yeah.
much. So that's been a big barrier for me. And people suggest things and it's like, yeah, that's really cool, but it kind of takes away that control from me, which is kind of what you were saying, Grog. So I'm curious kind of how you balance that. I mean, it sounds like a lot of those things are, like you say, you can build off it, you can make funny moments with it, and it's content. How would you say, like, how has your community responded to these channel points ideas? Do you see a lot more engagement? Do they suggest things as well?
Oh,
And
yeah, I think a lot of our community like absolutely loves all different stuff, whether it's like my channel or Selena's channel. It's like I don't know. That's why I do it though, right? Because seeing people get a joy out of these things, it's like, oh wow, you like this. I'm gonna do more of these things. It's awesome. Yeah, people spend a lot of points. People are always redeeming stuff, and I do agree with what you're saying as well. Of like having redemptions that are too disruptive can be bad. Like I said, that Pokemon Snap thing, it was really cool and I liked it, but I ran out of things to talk about with it on stream because like it's the same thing every time. And B, it's very disruptive. Like it would completely derail. Like take a picture. Okay, let's like stop the game, stop whatever for 20 seconds to go do this thing. That's mostly why I turned it off. It's like, I'll leave this off because it keeps stopping stream and it's hard to like want to do that. Like it's hard to it kind of breaks you out of the flow. And I have played with other redemptions in the past too, just like, you know, redeem however many points for me to draw something or for me to play guitar because I used to have a guitar over there. I play guitar. But yeah, those things I don't enjoy as much because they kind of dictate where the stream goes.
Yeah.
But when it's on the fly like that, you can't. I don't know. It breaks it out of the flow, and when you're putting on a show, it's kind of weird and off-putting.
Yeah, I guess it almost seems like for almost any stream, the channel points that tend to gain the most success are the ones where you can just simply layer them on top of the current activity rather than a complete cessation of the activity you're
Yeah.
in the middle of at the
Yes,
expense of then doing the thing. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I have to do the thing now. Hold on, we gotta stop.
Grog
like,
makes a sick triple play in Warzone, and then like he has 30 seconds of like dance time or some shit like that.
Right.
Or Griselda.
well,
Saving up for that.
well,
I'm
so
close.
like, so for me, that was kind of like the balance. Like I have one, when I was looking for channel point redemptions early on, I was struggling to think of stuff. And I also recognized that like there's sort of an economy of scale that over time, if you do, get regular viewers, people are going to build up points and you want to give them lofty goals. So one of the ones I came up with was initially just as a meme to see one, if people would reach it, and two, if it was even like fair and balanced in terms of like the payoff versus the cost. And one of them is 69,420 points. And I put on my skeleton mask over here, and I do a floss dance. Sometimes my dogs are involved.
Floss dance. Let's be real. His boomer floss dance.
I don't know how to floss. Two,
funny.
it's basically just me being
It's
silly
like a draw
and
jig.
it's great, and people have come to love it. And it's one of those things that I can just say like, okay, don't queue us up for this match. I'm gonna like do this between games, and that works fine because there's this cadence built into the stream already. But like, there was one thing that actually has been extremely popular, so much so that I had to both raise the cost and I'll also put a cooldown. Where Lauren and I, my wife, we were doing a stream.
My wife.
I apologize. I didn't give her full recognition. My wife, Arcade Riot. We were doing our Saturday stream, and this is months ago. And I actually found the clip going back, and I didn't realize like where the origin of this came from. But we were playing a game, and I don't know why, but we were talking about witches or something, and I was like, "Answer me these questions 3," and like. And she was like, "What the fuck is that? Who are you? Like, what is this?" And I was like, I'm Griselda." And she was like, "What?" And then we just went down this path of like, I just riffed on this character, and we were just talking about stuff. So the character kind of became this like, witch out of time, so like Lauren was talking to me about PayPal, and I was like, "I don't take PayPal, but Venmo's cool." Like, and people loved it. And then like a good buddy of mine, Vul, said, "You should make this a channel point redemption." And I was like, "Yeah, but wouldn't that get annoying for like other people I'm with?" He was like, "Well, you could always mute yourself, but also like, I mean, let's be honest, you always play regularly with the same group of friends. Like, people get you. They get the silliness. Like, they'll be on board. Like, don't worry about it."
I didn't get it the first time around. I was like, "Who the fuck is this?"
But it became one of those things where like I just did a dumb, silly thing, and then I saw this like really positive reaction from chat, and people really enjoyed it, and then people wanted it as a channel point redemption. I was like, "All right, I guess." And I ended up doing it like 12 times in a row, and like redemptions in a row. I was like, "All right, I need to cool down. I need to like my voice is gonna wear out. I need some tea after this." But it actually has been, for me, I think, one of the most rewarding ones, because it was something that I didn't come up with, really. It was just I did a goofy thing, but people latched onto it, and because of the community's like encouragement, I rolled it into the stream, and now it's like it's in my channel trailer, and like it's just sometimes Griselda just shows up, and like we role play as Griselda for like 5 minutes, and it's silly.
See, those are fun ways to get your channel points, because it's like an organic way to actually obtain it. You know what I mean? Like it's not something you necessarily had to think about, come up with, try to be different. It's something that just naturally happened, and people took grasp on it, and it worked out, and it's something that's funny, and that's a really cool way to get the channel point for sure.
Yeah. You came up with an idea like live on stream, and then you're just like, "Yeah, this really works."
For sure.
That's awesome. And
I would say a difficult part, like now, because like I mean, think about it now. We're what, a year and a half after channel points came in, and we're still talking about channel points because a lot of us haven't done anything with channel points, or we started to do something and we stopped doing something with channel points. And I'm sure we're far from the only people that have done really anything with channel points. Dragnerz obviously excluded. No, you're not part of this conversation. But yeah, I mean, just thinking about it, shit, man. It'll come back to me. I had a humps moment. It's gone. It'll get back.
And you're blaming him for being a boomer.
Well, so something that Condi touched on when he like commented on something Dragnerz said, which is like, you feel like it can get in the way of your gaming, and I think you almost have to take into account the kind of streamer you are as it pertains to the games that you play. Because I'm sure with some games or some titles or platforms, if you're doing a lot of single player stuff, if you're doing something that's not an always live game, like you have those opportunities where you could pause and you could kind of like segue into something and segue back out again. Whereas, you know, like Condi, you play a lot of first person shooters, and I do too as well. So like it is that moment where you're trying to fight off waves of people at a time, you know, with like split second like reaction, and
Chat's
there's no
like,
way that you're
dab,
going to be able
dab
to like
right now.
Do it,
Dab.
dab. Dance, monkey, dance.
And so like, you know, I think that's part of it too, is trying to figure out something that like really works with your channel, and it works with the like the flow that you've already established for your stream.
Well, I mean,
Um,
also, it came back to me. I was gonna say, because like, so us specifically, like I said, we have a lot of people that are in our chats regularly. So this entire time, and with either new streamers or people like us who just haven't done anything with their channel points, they have nothing. They have these people that are in their chats building up, accrued a shit ton of points. So we have people in our chats that have so many points because we've done nothing with our channel points. So it's like when we finally do have good ideas and we implement them, it's like traditionally, normally, if had we thought of these beforehand or we put the effort in, but you know, at the initially, you know, it'd been a gradual. People get the points, use them, and it wouldn't be get that burnout right away. But now it's like no matter what we do, there's gonna be people in chat with hundreds of thousands of channel points ready to just blow their channel point load, and you know that's when like the burnout really happens. You know, it's like
The imagery
it's
is
like, geez,
like
I have to like mute this thing just because you know Wolfie is just over there just constantly going to town on my new channel point.
See, I have people that. Sorry, Dragnerz, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just use predictions. Get people to like gamble their points away. Because
Oh shit! Yeah,
if nobody votes on the other prediction, the points should get lost to the ether.
Oh, really?
It's wonderful with like things where they think you're gonna fail. It's like, oh,
yeah,
Eve is definitely gonna die right here, and then I prove them wrong, and they all lose their points. Oh,
when does that ever happen?
See, what I was
a couple
gonna
times,
say,
and I've gloated very loudly.
what I was gonna say is like I have people at this point who are refusing to spend their channel points because they just have so many, and they're like, nope, I'm not gonna spend them. And
they were
like,
early channel investors.
we have a joke that they own part of the channel now because they have so many channel points.
Condi points are like the Doge.
What I tried to do,
Twitch.
There's literally someone who I think has like over 500,000 like.
oh,
channel
I think
points.
we're getting close to 1 million. Like, for some
Tree's
people, like,
Tree's
it's-
gotta be.
Yeah,
Tree's gotta be there.
I
Or
made
close to.
a community goal and set it to 1 million points because I thought this will get rid of a bunch of points out of the economy, as it were. And I gave them like 2 months, and we didn't hit it.
Well,
and
I
then
mean, the
What was the
limit
thing for?
sucked. It was the
Yeah.
limit.
it was
What
it
was
was
the-
2000.
Yeah, you can
What
only
was
do
it
that.
for,
The
Condi?
daily limit was only 2K.
well, yeah,
so
because
it's
you
like,
can't change that. That's just the way it
Oh,
is.
that's the max.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't change it. I would have set it higher if I could, but
Yeah.
What was the point thing for though?
it was for a height reveal.
We
Why
all
would
know
you
how
set a
tall
height
you are,
reveal?
though.
So why would you set such a high point thing for a height
Listen,
reveal?
well,
You scared
first
to
of all,
reveal your height or
the
something?
community goal thing was new, so I wanted to test it, and I thought, let's meme a little bit. We'll put 1 million, but it backfired on me because eventually I just kind of had to cancel the community goal, and it refunded like 700,000 channel points back
If
to the
only that could have
community.
just gotten lost in the ether.
Yeah, so I was like, oh no. So everyone's super rich with channel points. Like, so yeah, predictions is a good one. I need to start doing that. Is that something you use a lot, Dragnerz?
I'm still trying to find like good opportunities to use it more and more, because it's still something fairly new, and I'm not sure yet like what the best scenarios are for it. You have to be careful because like if you're doing something that involves like chat involvement, and then you ask people to either bet for or against you, then you can get people who like intentionally try to lead you astray, like in chess.
Yeah.
I found it's been really good for like Danganronpa, where you have like the trials, the class trials, and you're trying to figure out who it is. And if you die, then like people can vote for that. Or if I'm doing a Pokemon Nuzlocke, it's really nice. It's like, are they gonna die before the first gym?
The
Yeah.
But,
I
but
think
like,
you want, from what I've seen, or from what I've felt like, you need to have ones that aren't like super long, that don't last the whole stream. But it's sometimes pretty hard to like predict that. Like sometimes there have been ones that like, oh, well, I get to 20 deaths and that doesn't happen. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess.
yeah, it's tricky. I haven't actually done any myself, but I know my mods will throw predictions up from time to time. But a lot of the time, it's like will Condi win this game or will he die? And then a lot of the time, I'm dead before the predictions even finished
No,
voting.
we lose the money. We
Like-
get money all the time. Will Condi die? Yes. Money obtained.
Yeah, exactly. So I need to figure out a good
thing with
system.
mods.
Say
is
again?
They can't vote in predictions. Mods can't, which is very obnoxious because I also don't see an ability for them to choose the outcome. I don't know if it's something they have to type, but I always have to do it in my dashboard. It's like, so if they can't choose the outcome, why can't they vote?
Well, so mods can set up the prediction,
Yeah, they can set it up, but
but they
I
can't
think you
vote
can
on
choose.
it.
The actual.
I think you can choose the outcome because I was doing that for Condi regarding his pizza sin.
so I
Whether
just
or
need
not,
to yell at the mods.
yeah, there was. So Condi, not to get lost in the weeds, but Condi once threw away a full pizza because it had barbecue sauce instead of tomato sauce.
Yeah.
It's not
Garbage
pizza.
thing to
It's
do.
not pizza.
Garbage thing to do.
Again, we're not getting lost in the weeds. The prediction was whether or not Condi's going to pizza hell, and
100%.
and the answer was 100%. Chat weighed in for a few, like 10 minutes or so. But yes, I did complete that one for him. He is going to pizza
But
hell.
that's why mods
Yeah,
can't.
obviously.
For sure.
That's why mods can't vote in it because in theory they could just.
They could game.
Like, rig it.
They could game the
Yeah,
system. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
We
okay.
all
I just
know mods are
refund.
trustworthy.
I wait for people to cash in the dabs, and then I wait for you to do it, and I just refund them their points anyway.
You're fired. You're fired.
Is
I
there
thought I was the only one.
Dragnerz, I'm curious, is there any other than stuff that you came up with for the channel, is there anything that you've seen the community bring to you? And it doesn't have to, necessarily be channel point related, but anything where you saw a strong reaction from the people who watch and they said we'd like to see this kind of art on the stream, or we'd like to see you play these kinds of games or whatever, and you went with that and it paid off. Is there anything that you found really exciting that you wouldn't have come up with without having the community kind of lead you there?
Yeah, let me think about that. I'm not sure. I think the closest thing I could say that's happened with that has been with puzzle games.
Okay.
Where I like puzzle games, but I tried playing them on stream once, and I played playing Rusty Lake specifically. And
Oh, I love Rusty Lake.
Yeah,
Mary,
so
Mary, my wife's played 8
My
of them,
wife.
and that's all she does.
they're really really cool. But on top of that, everybody else found them really really cool. And that's really encouraged me to be yeah, okay, let's make puzzle games are a big part of the stream, or a regular part. So now every Sunday I dedicate we play puzzle games. I should do chess on Sundays as well. So I do puzzles on chess, and then after we've warmed up with that, then we play puzzle games. And right now I'm playing Talos Principle, but I think that that puzzle Sunday kind of thing came out of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Imagine stepping away from the podcast.
Sorry.
Kind of cringe.
I was still listening. It's fine. I heard everything.
Is there is there anything that you want to work on this year that is maybe in progress but isn't quite there yet, or things that you'd like to see happen with the channel that as things are growing? Because you said you started in the spring of last year, so you've really got a lot of momentum rolling right now. Surely there's places you'd like to see the channel go.
Yeah, I absolutely just want to keep growing the channel and growing what we're doing. The channel and our community, because our Discord group is also, I think, really popping and doing really well. But specifically for my channel, I don't know. I have a lot of ideas of where I want to go with things. I've been thinking more and more about how to involve my science background, or trying to get more science communication stuff in, because that's kind of where I want to go overall, not even on Twitch, but on other platforms as well. It's I've always been interested in the idea of being able to make science and make kind of educational things more accessible and more fun in some ways.
So if you don't mind, what is your science background?
Ooh, good question. I am a psychology and neuroscientist researcher. So
Oh, nice.
I don't do any actual helping of people or any therapy or anything like that. But I do bring people into a lab and sit them down in front of a computer, and I ask them to do some stuff, and then I look at the data and I do stats and analysis.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then from that, try to answer questions about the brain. Of like, oh, what were they doing if they answered this way, kind of thing.
You should study humps.
Mhm.
100%. The
Which
data
I
would be
He
insane.
loves electrodes.
Candy would.
I do like electrodes. That has nothing to do with my job, but I'm an electrode fan. Yeah.
Electrodes are cool. I actually do.
It's a cool Pokemon.
Man, okay, that's actually one idea I really want to do. I want to get an EEG cap and involve it in a stream some way. And they do sell consumer grade like EEG headbands, which are basically with electrodes. And so I could get like a actual reading from my brain and do something with that, whether it's like show it on screen or
You know,
some
it'd be
analysis.
Or
wild.
control the game with your mind.
Or control the brain. Yeah, actually, okay. There is a really cool company called Backyard Brains that does like a lot of like neuroscience hacky things that you can do at home. Like for $100, you can buy a little kit that you can do neuronal recordings with like a bug or something. And they have a little device that allows you to do like hook up electrodes anywhere on your body, and then it maps onto like an Xbox controller.
Oh,
And when I was at a conference, I guess 2 years ago now, and they had a demo set up where the guy was like all hooked up playing World of Warcraft with his like body.
That's
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Jesus. And the thing is, I imagine the technology, like you just said, is there because, like, if you look at
Oh,
heartbeat
yeah.
monitors and all that kind of stuff is already like integrated into Twitch. That opens a possibility to even just mess with people. Like if you
Yeah.
send like Condi's trying to like play a game and you send a shock into his mouse hand and it just
oh yeah.
yeah.
Actually, no, you totally.
I've
could do
seen
Yeah,
that.
you
I
could
feel
have,
like I've seen that.
like Twitch plays the Twitch streamer. You could have
Yeah.
100% do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to capitalize on this. I'm ready.
Condi, you sound thrilled at the expense.
Yeah.
Of
I'm like, oh, cool. This is
That could
great.
only
Going ahead,
ever
this is a
end
great
well.
idea. Yeah, it's cool.
There's no way that would go wrong.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, it's
I
it's
imagine
fantastic.
that. Like, I don't know if you've seen Michael Reeves on YouTube.
Yeah.
But he has a video where he made like a dab machine that you can shock people to like do the dab motion, and it's
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
I could see
That's
interesting
what
stuff.
Connie-
I could see interesting stuff happening though if you like because there's maybe potential for musicians on Twitch which have been greatly affected by DMCA and like DJs. I'm thinking people who are like remixing music. I'm just when you said the EEG, I immediately thought like, what if you were like making music based off the inputs coming from your brain waves? Like that would be neat.
That would
like
be neat. That would be super messy.
Connie's brainwaves would be like, wow, this really sounds a lot like Oasis.
Start screaming
be
every
really
time
bad.
you get
Why
close
does my
to a
brain keep
DMCA
saying
song.
Wonderwall over and over and over again?
Yeah, here's the thing about EEG. Super messy, really hard to deal with, but that would be really neat. I could do that.
maybe some like light ambient like shoegaze kind of stuff.
Ooh, I do love me some shoegaze.
So, Dragnerz, do you make content on any other platforms? Is it just kind of Twitch you're focused on? I know you obviously do a lot of the sort of development stuff. Do you
So
work on other?
In the past, before Twitch, I was on YouTube. And I had a YouTube channel, also called Dragnerz. Well, no, it was called something else at the time. But I tried to do for a few years, like long form, like 10 to 20-minute videos, either like game reviews or I was trying to do like a game and science kind of thing. So I always had the like idea of science communication in my head. I've put that aside because I was honestly spending like 60 hours for 10-minute content that nobody was watching.
I feel that.
Yeah, but in the future I'll probably go back to YouTube and start doing things when I'm able to like prioritize my time better, maybe, or have more time. Because I'm actually still in school now, finishing my degree.
Okay.
That takes up the other amount of time. I'm also on Instagram, which
Okay.
is also another place where I can do science communication stuff, and sometimes maybe take a picture or something and share it.
I need to get better with social media stuff. I've been off of it for a while, so I need to get back on top of it.
Can I just say thank you to the anonymous gifter for all the gifted subs?
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, Kyle, I was thinking too, maybe if you do have an opportunity in the future to explore more of the YouTube side of things, maybe that like could be a way to compartmentalize some of the like the science content that you want to like kind of get into, you know, your brand. I mean, if it's something that like maybe doesn't neatly fit into like the stream block, you know, because I know that you have like some cool stuff, like you have a channel point redemption for what was it?
10-second psychology.
Yeah. 10-second
Yeah.
psychology. I came into your channel during one of those, which was great. And yeah, like 10-second psychology, stuff like that. Like I actually made a clip of one of your streams because you were talking about moisturizing, and you were talking about like skincare and like the
Yeah.
science like of how skin works and like the oils in your skin, etc. And it's really funny because I'm 37 years old and I only just started moisturizing my face this year because I was bullied by my chat to do so, and that I wasn't taking care of myself. And then they explained to me and lectured me why I was not a bad person, but I wasn't doing my best at taking care of me. And it was funny because then
Not a
within like
bad person.
within 2 weeks or so, I was on your stream and you were talking about that. And I clipped it and I sent it to two of my friends who are like on my Discord, and they were just like, yeah, you should have done this sooner. So yeah, like stuff like that's great, but like yeah, I'm thinking, I mean, maybe YouTube could be an opportunity to kind of like do a segment on something, you know, because
Yeah.
it allows you to really drill down on a topic for like a fixed amount of time, but like just enough to cover it, but not so long that it has to be like the whole stream, but also it doesn't like, you know, you don't have to be so reductive as to make it 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I was also kind of trying to do that on Instagram too. Like I don't know if you saw the Instagram, I guess in August they released these reels, which are like TikToks, I
Yeah.
think. I
Mhm.
don't, I'm still kind of confused what TikTok is exactly, or like I don't use the platform, but I like the reels thing. And I was trying to do like science reels because that was feasible to do, to prepare like a 15-second video that only took me a few hours. With YouTube, it's really just like the time commitment that I find daunting, that I haven't gone
Yeah.
back. But you're right. I absolutely could, and I probably will start like putting long form stuff on YouTube that maybe I can't prepare on Twitch. At the same time, though, I really like the Twitch. I find so much more exciting than YouTube ever. I ever found YouTube, and I want to look at different ways that I could do like maybe just stream actually in the science and technology channel or category and do like a lecture of some sort, but keep it interactive and keep it as like a live stream still. I don't know.
They can
I
just
really
zoom
wanna
in
do
on your
that more.
PowerPoint. Like as you're
Yeah.
talking about like neuroscience, they just really zoom into
Yeah.
I don't know, like a still of something.
Yeah. Or people can control the slides, and then you have
Ooh,
to like
nice.
give the presentation based on what slides people go to.
Oh,
That's a good one.
fuck, that would be funny.
Yeah, right.
That's
Like,
not,
if
that's not a bad idea.
not
Like
a bad-
some
not a bad
channel
idea,
point
honestly.
redemption where like it pulls up like it just you have a big pile a bucket of like images, random images that have to do with whatever you know your topic is about. And then a channel point redemption just pulls out a random image and you have, you know, 10, 15, 20 seconds, whatever to talk, you know, describe or explain what that image has to do with about.
Yeah, wait, I really like that.
I'm gonna do it. I'll take
I think
10% of whatever.
Humps, I actually think you've been beaten to it. The newest Jackbox has one of the
I was
sub
about
Yeah,
to say
it's
I haven't gotten to
amazing.
Jackbox actually, but
Jackbox.
To be
I
fair,
like the
to be
idea.
fair, Humps didn't understand it when we played it, and I, you know, so
Because he's not shooting people, so he's like, what do I do?
What is this?
so since
So
channel
you're
points,
shooting the words at people.
Oh.
since channel
Okay,
points has
okay.
been kind of a interesting topic, what would our advice be to like maybe newer streamers that just have access to channel points and don't really know where to start? Like, what would be our tips for coming up with ideas and things like that?
Don't force it. Let it come naturally, because if you just go around cherry picking all the good ideas that you see from other streamers, eventually sorry, he's coughing right now.
Aw.
Eventually you just get like lost in the noise. It's not organic and people just don't click on it.
I would say my number one, even though I've done nothing with mine channel points, but understand that they're not permanent. You can change them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you can just, even if it's a dumb idea, put it in there. You know what I mean? Who gives a shit? It might turn into something. It might spark another idea. You know what I mean? Like not even from you, just somebody in chat. It's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It might be funnier if you did this instead. You're like, oh shit, that is a really good idea. So just, whatever the idea is, put it in there. If it's dumb, not dumb, who cares? You can change them. You know what I mean?
One thing that I would like to kind of, it's been a growing theme within this conversation, that derailing channel points is kind of like a huge focus for a lot of people, because you don't want it to stop the flow. Sometimes it doesn't feel organic, but there is multiple ways that you can actually introduce things that either have no sound or a very small effect on the screen. One of the biggest things that I've been trying to like hone in and work on is an overlay that'll just change based on how people select it. So let's say you have an organic overlay, you've got certain elements that are a certain color, and you can just change that. There's different ways that you can add visual effects onto the screen, where it'd be like, I've seen you use it, Dragnerz, where it's the rainbow filter on your webcam. So like it doesn't disrupt anything. There's no audio cue, so like you're not playing an intense Warzone game and then you physically hear it, so you're like, what is that? So there's multiple ways. Subtlety can actually be a huge like impact, and it still gives the viewers like a chance to physically interact with the channel.
I think that's one of the things that I appreciated most when I started diving into your channel, Dragnerz, and looking at some of the things you have, is a lot of them are visually stimulating, but from the standpoint of you, the person behind your keyboard broadcasting and communicating with your chat, they're actually pretty inobtrusive to you. They're very like they do a lot visually, but like, so I can redeem some points and I can get your dragon to pop up on screen and like mention some popcorn, and it's a cute animation, but like it doesn't break your stride in any way in terms of like your train of thought or anything that's happening in the game. And I think, as Cyber said, I think that is something I want to work towards, because I think some of those things are fantastic, because it gives it like, because let's think about it, like channel points are a way for like the viewer to feel like they have some sort of impact, and that they can like they get a little dopamine hit, they get a little validation, they get a little like they feel like they have some ownership and of the channel and agency in that moment. You want to give that to them because it's a good feeling. You're stimulating these good feelings, but also at the same time, you don't want to do it at the expense of one person redeeming one thing over and over and over again at the expense of everybody else being like,
hydrate.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then everyone else is like, okay, I mean, it's cool for the first like 10 push-ups, but like let's just let them game now, So I think that I've been just really impressed with how much you've worked into your channel, that it just doesn't disrupt the actual channel. It just adds to.
Yeah.
It's a yes and to the channel, rather than
Yeah.
put on the brakes
It's
and stop
truly
and do something else.
additional content. You know what I mean? There's a difference between just throwing shit in there and then adding content to what you're creating. So, and Dragnerz does
Exactly.
that.
And that's 100% like was on my mind when I was making and working on different things. It's like, how can I do something that won't make more work for me and won't be like super frustrating to have to do? The camera filters I find really nice as well. And that's not my original idea. Like a lot of my stuff, especially in the last 5 or 6 months, I've really picked up from like Nutty. I don't know if you're familiar
Yep.
with them. And
Yep.
I mean,
He's
'cause
amazing.
they've been like, yeah, he's been like such a wealth of knowledge and resources, and just like, I mean, he found the Orin board and like really pushed that and explained how that works, and all the stuff like that. And he has Redemption on his channel that just add things flare to the screen, and he messed with like scaling and stuff and all the different kinds of things, warping the image and stuff. But all of it's automatic. None of it he has to like lift a finger to do anything with, and that really appeals to me because yeah, it can be. I can't imagine having to have like a hotkey for every single camera filter or everything
Yeah.
up and try to time it myself. I just set it up once and then I can forget about it.
Yeah.
And then people redeem it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You can have pop cog appear on stream and make a little popping sound every now and then.
And that kind of touches on a question that was just asked in chat, which was about automation, where do you have to push
Yeah.
a button to set stuff off? So it sounds like pretty much most of it is just self-starting. You set it up once, you
Yes.
maybe tune it a couple times afterwards, but then it just runs.
It's
Yeah,
pretty much like it's a
exactly.
huge learning curve, like the bot that Dragnerz mentioned. It's a huge learning curve. It involves, I would say, coding, but as soon as you learn it, the possibilities are endless. It can literally do so much stuff. It's purely limited to your creativity.
And
Yeah.
what are some of the tools, if you don't mind name dropping, like some of the bots or apps or things that you've used? Like, are there anything that you would recommend people look into? Would you say that would you say like check this out, but there's a learning curve? Like, what might people Google if they were looking to add some of this stuff to their channel?
First and foremost, Leorn board I think is so powerful and makes a lot of these things accessible. Because you could go into programming all this stuff yourself. There's like there's a JavaScript plugin that works with OBS. There's different like APIs and stuff. But if you don't know how to code exactly and you just want like a user interface, Leorn board, while it is like super confusing to use, it is doable and it works with OBS. So you can mess with all the filters, you can turn things on and off, you can scene change, source, whatever. Even like go in and change properties and animate those properties. Like there's actually you can go really, really deep with Leorn board. And yeah, and you can have everything automatic, timed, works with channel points. That was another big thing too, actually. For a long time, we didn't have any tools that worked with channel points, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Switch just didn't do that. Didn't make it accessible to places. But on that, the other thing I'd say, if you do know some programming or have some knowledge of JavaScript, look up Comfy.js, because everything else I do is with Comfy.js. Like I do some programming myself, so a lot of things are like custom programmed. Some of the animations actually are not through Leorn board; they're actually something I programmed in, especially if it has to do with randomness, and that is with Comfy.js and using stream elements. I just you can make like you can keep stuff on stream elements. It hosts like little bits of code. You can keep your videos in there and stuff, and then just load it as an overlay. And it interacts with chat. Works with
Did
channel
you hear that,
points.
Condi?
I
Did you
hear
listen
it.
to him
So-
about that stream elements part?
I'm taking notes. Don't worry.
Yeah. So those are my three main things.
Man
yeah.
has stream elements and he doesn't use that aspect of it.
Okay. Stream elements, custom overlay. Like make your own overlay, new overlay, and then when you go in, I know they give you a bunch of like preset alert stuff, preset like gold bars and things. At the very bottom, there's a custom widget, and that is essentially just like a container for HTML and CSS and JavaScript, and you can do whatever you want.
I think a big takeaway from this is like not only just like how creative you can be with channel points, which obviously is a big takeaway, but how versatile the program itself is, Stream Elements is, and also the additional help you can get from third-party programs
Mhm.
that can interface with Stream Elements. There's so much you can do with these tools that people just don't. And looking at Dragnerz stream, you can see how much if you just do a little bit of research, just it doesn't even take that much effort. You can look up free code. You can learn up. You don't even know how to code. Just like have an idea of like this is what I want to do, and you can just kind of Google that. You can find code to do. Just Google that stuff. I did that all the time when I took a coding class. I was like, this is what I got to do. Help me out. But just putting a little bit of effort, and you can really add some really cool shit. And the program people are already using does cool shit that people aren't utilizing.
Yeah. I think though, what's probably like hard for a lot of people and hard for me too a lot of times, and you guys even mentioned it too, just like you know these tools exist, but you don't know what to do with them, and it's hard. It can be really hard to come up with new ideas. I think just trying to do something for the sake of doing it or for the sake of using these tools, if you go from that point of view, it's going to be difficult because
Yeah.
you're going to be like, oh, well, I have this hammer. Where's a nail, kind of thing.
Mhm.
I think first and foremost, my advice for Channel Point Redemptions is just try to generate ideas, try to think of things. Don't think of things in terms of like what's possible, what's not. Just if you have an idea, or if you can think of an idea, once you have that, then start answering. How can I do that? What do I need to make that? And that'll lead you to the tools that you need.
Yeah.
Like the Dragnerz snap thing I didn't do that because I wanted to do like a really ridiculous scratch code, like weird thing that honestly kind of breaks almost at the time. I did it because I wanted to recreate Pokemon Snap. And I just said, how do I do that? What do I need to do that? And I just did it like piece by piece until it worked.
Yeah, I like it. So come up with an idea and work backwards, basically. Yeah. It's a good idea. Shall we quickly talk about the other sort of Twitch news that we had on the board for today as well?
And the
Sure.
huge monumental fuck up that happened.
Well, first of all, I mean, we can announce the, or not announce, but we can talk about the Twitch announcement that the new perk that partners will have, which is that they now get ad-free viewing on Twitch if you're a partner. So they said that this was, or what was it they said? I think it was the reason they introduced this was because they wanted to eliminate having to watch pre-roll ads when they're looking for a target to raid, right? Which is great in theory, but I mean, it only affects partners. I can understand why they don't roll this out to everyone, because then there would be no ads on Twitch. But
Right.
kind of a nice perk, I guess, of being a partner. I mean, I know a lot of partners have like Nitro already, so they can cancel that, which is kind of nice, I suppose. But
And it's nice that they actually pointed that out. You know what I mean? Instead of it being like some sort of comment or some sort of point of contention, they're just like, hey, if you have Nitro, cancel that shit right now. You don't need it.
yeah,
I feel like it should have always been like that.
Yep.
personally.
Yeah.
Because if
I
you're a
mean,
partner, you're working
it's
for
definitely one of those
Twitch.
things like, yeah, that's how it should have been, but you maybe can give them some BOD, as we call it in the biz, benefit of the doubt, in terms of like rolling out. Because I mean, this is as big as Twitch is, and as long as it's been around. I mean, there's still kind of like, you know, the Wild West venturing out in terms of like how to do stuff in terms of making money, ads, keeping a balance between, you know, I don't know.
Mhm.
I hate to be kind of like a, you know, a Twitch simp, but at some
Yeah,
times it's just like,
I know they need to be profitable.
yeah,
And I know that like there are a non-significant amount of partners out there, and so removing ad revenue probably like cuts in their bottom line a little bit.
For
But I
sure.
can't imagine it cuts that much. And like all those people are still making money for Twitch.
they may
Yeah.
have to run.
Or-
You might find people running ads now. I'm like, well, shit, you know, people that
Yeah.
get, you know, have like 30,000 people watching their stream. You know, some of these big streamers or whatever, you know, having Mando ads. I'm sure a good amount of them are subscribed and don't have to watch them, but you know, you got 30,000 people watching, you probably make a decent chunk of change from ad revenue. So it's like, they might be like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom a little more often. Here's an ad real quick.
My
Yeah.
finger slipped.
Yeah, sorry guys. Be sure to subscribe though.
I mean, I think we could all agree, like, it's something that, I mean, I've certainly run into if I'm trying to find a person to raid at the end of the stream, and it's like, oh, well, I have to watch this 30-second ad,
Yeah.
first of all, just to
Yeah.
make sure that they're
Yeah.
not sitting at a be right back screen.
Which has
or
happened
something.
before.
Which has happened before, yep. I blame the ads. It's the ads' fault, not mine. It's a cool little feature, and, you know, it gives, you know, an extra perk to being partnered, I guess, which is kind of nice for them. So, kind of cool. And then the other big one was this, the purple screen of death that they're calling it on Twitch.
So many feelings about it.
Does anyone
So
want
it's-
to explain,
Yeah, so-
first of all, what that
Because
is?
like it's like purple screen of death reminds you of like blue screen of death, which is like a Microsoft thing, which reminds you of like Mixer, which means like Cyber was on Mixer, and it just takes you back to all these memories, right?
I love your associative
Yeah,
path that you're going.
that was
What the
interesting. I like
fuck?
that.
Cyber's like,
So-
yeah, sure.
I'm sure Cyber can tell us more about it, but the in short, effectively for third-party applications that embed Twitch streams onto their site, and there's a whole host of places that do this, and a lot of places that do it for very good reason. Now what's happening is they're getting hit with basically the stream is interrupted for, I think, is it 30 seconds? It's fairly substantial. If it's not 30, it's around 15. But basically, you get a full, just solid block of purple with white text on it, essentially saying like, please go watch this through Twitch itself. And effectively, it's to speed bump of sorts, so that you know, slow down, take a moment, you have to read this disclaimer, and then it goes away, and then it comes up like, you know, several times an hour, and you can't get rid of it. So an irony of this is inside PUBG, Player Battlegrounds Unknown. It's a, you know, one of the first battle royale games that came out. There's a space in the game where you can actually be in game as a character in an arena watching games play out like in a tournament setting, right?
Oh.
And so they actually have almost like think of like an NBA stadium where you've got like screens, or like a hockey stadium where you've got like screens on four sides up in the rafters, and it's broadcasting into this 3D arena where people are standing, and there's screenshots of them getting this purple screen of death because it's an embed in the in like they're using Twitch's API to like
Embed
show
the
a
streams.
stream within the game, but because it's not actually through twitch.tv, you know, slash whatever, that it's an embedded um image, it's being blocked. And it's just ironic because then you're in the game and you can't watch the game that's being broadcast of the game that's, you know, it's just like this weird
Yeah.
recursive. But like,
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
it's
Oh my god.
It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why they even felt the need to do it. There can only be one explanation, and that's to drive more traffic away from these other sites to Twitch. That can be the only
Yeah.
reasoning. But the amount of
Yeah.
exposure that these like other third-party websites must bring to Twitch, it doesn't seem to like outweigh the reason to block everything. One of the biggest issues is the first iteration is the purple screen of death. You can't see anything apart from the Twitch message that broadcasts. But the new iteration is actually an element where you only get a preview of, like, depending on what website it's embedded on, they give you a preview of that stream, and then it stops. And then it says, if you want to continue watching, please head to twitch.tv, blah, blah, blah. And you physically have to click the button that removes the embed and takes you physically to that website.
Yep.
Why?
That's not good.
I don't fucking stand it. It doesn't
and
make sense.
if anyone in chat or any listeners at home like are thinking, well, how, you know, like I usually go through the Twitch app, or I usually go on twitch.tv, like it doesn't really affect me, I don't understand how this would be a big deal. Think about, here is an example. So we know that like partners can do like squad streams. You can basically watch multiple channels at one time through Twitch. It's an official tool or a plugin. But the thing is, it's only available to partnered streamers. You can't do a squad stream where, let's say, you're playing a game and you're on a team, and that team is comprised of X number of people. You can currently go and watch them all on one page, and then you can kind of flip between their chats. It's a really cool feature, right? But it's not rolled out for the whole community. There are other websites that allow you to take basically the stream tags for different streamers, put them into one space, and it can do that, but it's third party. So for example, like Condi and I were playing in a tournament last month, and one of our mods that mods for both of us was posting a link, and it didn't affect us during that time, but there was a link that was being posted that took you to a third party that was basically hosting his chat, my chat, you know, his stream, my stream. And so you could watch us do this duos tournament in real time, and I thought that was awesome. And but like those kinds of websites would be affected, where if anyone is watching it as an embed through another source, like you're still counting as a viewer through those sources, but now it's like you're going to be hit with this disclaimer that pops up every so often just to drive you back to the platform. And it's unfortunate because like some of these sites exist, and I mentioned the multi-stream thing as an example because those sites exist because Twitch only limits it to partners, because it's a feature that just isn't available to everybody, or at least isn't available to also affiliates. People have had to create the tools to suit their needs, and now it's like another way of them kind of, I don't know, just squashing some sort of innovation at the expense of just driving traffic back to their platform and their platform alone, which is a little frustrating. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely seems very like harmful for other platforms. Totally. Like, yeah, you're totally right. They just want people to go to twitch.com TV. That's the only reason this would be like happening. That's the only the only benefit they have is just drive traffic back to the main platform, which will kill off or like really hurt everything else.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
There's a lot of organizations I know that will rely on embeds. Like a lot of tournament hosting websites will, often have a page you can go to that embeds all the players on a team onto the one, so you can watch the whole thing, maybe with a commentary channel as well. And that's all kind of ruined. I know for a lot of games, there'll be embeds on like the top streams of that game on like the wiki page for that particular game or whatever, and kind of all that gets affected. I don't
actually,
I don't think it's going to
chess.com even
affect
is.
Yeah, I mean, probably if they've got
Yeah.
embedded streams in there, then it can be affecting it as well.
Yeah, chess.com has like a big thing about embedded streams of just like at any time you can go check out all like the top streamers streaming chess, and they always host something. Yeah, I guess anything like that would be hit with this.
Absolutely.
Huh.
So kind of a frustrating thing, and I hope they kind of roll this back, but I don't really know. Twitch, they like to stick to their guns sometimes, so we'll see, I suppose.
I can only imagine that there must be three reasons. It's either to stop some of the things that they've already rolled throughout the community guidelines, like the whole lurk for lurk, the whole cheating the system with embedded websites where you can boost your viewer count, drive traffic back to the actual website to make it seem more profitable than what it actually is. Because let's be honest, it doesn't matter how the content's consumed, it's still being consumed, right? If you watch it on a certain website, you're probably always going to watch it there. But if they're forcing you to go to Twitch, it'll boost the numbers up. And three, which I think it probably is, knowing Twitch, it's probably got something to do with ad revenue. If it's embedded, I don't imagine that the ads would populate, given the fact that the purple screen of death used to pop up when the ads were rolling out.
Well, it was an
That was
ad
the
blocker. If you had ad blocker, you would get purple screen.
Exactly. So I think that's why they're actually doing it. But it seems more harmful than good. I get the whole Twitch needs to be profitable. We understand it's a business, but I just don't get it. It seems like it's hurting. I mean, look at the tournament. Was it PUBG where they had the 3D screens all the way around? I think it was. I think it was like a PUBG tournament. And if you like, granted, PUBG is probably not as popular as it was in its heyday, but I bet you thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people were watching it in some form, whether it be the specific streamer or the actual tournament, like Twitch or website. And then you just see this purple screen and you're like, what the fuck is Twitch done now? It seems like it's doing more harm than good. It's just putting another black stain on Twitch's reputation. I don't get it.
And something that was pointed out in chat though is things can cut both ways. Gothic Lady pointed out that in recent history there was a third-party site that embedded female streamers on Twitch, which allowed for gross dudes to come in and harass those streamers. I remember Twitch making a comment on it at the time, and I'm wondering if this was meant to is a byproduct of their attempt to curtail that kind of behavior, but like I don't know. It's also interesting because like Twitch has this habit of live testing things in the wild without announcing anything, and then sometimes they let it stay in place and sometimes they roll it back very quickly. They are pretty nimble in terms of like recalling things that they put out there and then just killing new initiatives if it just gets backlash. I haven't really heard anyone talking about like having this terms of service pop up, basically telling you, hey, you need to check this out through the proper platform, and it basically spam reminding you every half hour. But I guess if it becomes more of a problem, then maybe that's the moment that they'll like react to it, because they seem very reactionary with these initiatives. They don't seem to necessarily do a ton of like UX research up front per se. They just kind of put it out there and it's like, let's just see how people react.
Yeah. They like to test stuff and see what the reaction is.
Yeet it out to the public, and let's just see how it happens.
Hmm.
If it's bad, we'll roll it back.
It's never been bad.
No, never.
Ever.
I mean, they're constantly A/B testing, right? Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, a lot of places do that. Just there's a lot of eyes on Twitch, so a lot of people see all the different variations and all the things you're doing. I do agree with that. The banning of that website was banned,
Yes.
as far as I know. So they dealt with that. I guess it does affect it though. It would like stop that from happening in the future, or cut it back. Wait, but the embed things are still counted as views, are they not?
They used
So you
to
can
be.
still embed. I mean, I know Twitch can track that, and I know they're not counted as views for like partner or anything. Because Twitch can see that, like no raid views and no embed views are counted towards your partner progress. But are they still counted as views now with this new change?
Unclear. That's the thing. I don't know that they released a press statement on it. It's a thing that people just have commented on, that it's been reported, but like I haven't seen like a big like PR. Hey, this is what we're doing and why.
I'm pretty sure they still are. The reason why I say that is because there was a metric within, like you say, the partner application, where it says this is how many embedded views you received on your channel. So I imagine if they were just blocking it outright and it didn't count as a viewer, then obviously you would see that within the metrics, like they would just block it. So it must count as a viewer. In what instance, I'm not sure. Whether or not it pops up on your, your red total while you're live, maybe it doesn't count it there and it physically counts it within the metrics. I'm not sure, but it goes to what Grog says. They haven't actually told us if they do or they don't.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that a lot of the time, if you're maybe a smaller or a newer streamer to the platform, that embedded views probably don't make up a big percentage of your views. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty sure embedded views are almost nothing on my channel personally.
Mine is 0.
Yeah, it's I think more for like that top end when you're looking at big events on Twitch, like tournaments and things like that, and maybe with certain communities, you mentioned like chess.com and stuff, that could be an impact for some people, but it's not necessarily going to affect everyone. It's just one of those things that is obvious, because things like that PUBG example, are very easy to spread around, and again, if you're using a third-party multi-stream because we don't have access to squad streaming, so you set up your own and then it blocks it for whatever reason, it can affect you. But it's one of those things that might not necessarily impact your channel too much, but it's something to keep an eye on, because you never quite know what's going to happen next with Twitch's decisions.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's interesting. Do we have anything else to kind of cover, or do we want to think about starting to wrap up here?
I think
I think that's
we're
it.
good.
Yeah.
Good? All right, well, to finish us off, Cyber, why don't you tell us what you have coming up this week and plug anything you want to plug?
Gonna be streaming Tuesday, Thursday, and hopefully Saturday. Gonna be playing Tarkov and a new mystery game. I'm not gonna tell you. It's just gonna be a surprise. You can catch me. I did a rebrand. It's just a matter of schedule now. I'll change it again in probably like 3 months. But it is Unholy Cyber on all platforms. You can catch me on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding on that one.
He's not.
I'm not.
Awesome. Grog, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/grogmode, on other platforms at gamer_grog. I stream 5 days a week. One of those days, again, Saturdays, is with my wife. We stream
My wife.
my wife, starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on Saturdays. We're doing Last Campfire right now, which is a great puzzle game. I can't recommend it enough. It's very satisfying.
It may not be the last campfire, though. That's the
It may not be
only
the last.
comment on it.
Honestly, I hope to do a sequel. But yeah, I do a lot of I do a lot of first-person shooters throughout the week. So, and check out my channel trailer.
Yes,
the last
definitely do that.
campfire.
Eve, what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming on Monday, doing a lot of Minecraft and Persona 5 Strikers comes out in like a week, so I'm going to be doing a lot of that. And I'm also writing a script for a new video, very, 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 very slowly.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Good stuff.
Hamtaro.
Nice.
Yeah, you can find me Metabot Eve everywhere. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
Cool. Sir Humps.
Yeah, I'm Sir Humps. You can find me everywhere on all the socials at Sir Humps. Add an underscore if you're hunting me down on the Twitters. Stream, try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but try to get 3 days a weekend. And I think we'll be playing some. I don't know if whoever's gonna be streaming after this, but I know we're gonna be playing some Modern. I think we're gonna be playing some Warzone after this.
I was thinking about it. Maybe we can.
Yeah, all right.
We'll
See,
talk.
look
We'll
at there we go.
talk.
Look at we got plans working out right now. But yeah, Destiny, Call of Duty. You know, it's kind of what I do. Mainly Call of Duty now, I guess. I don't know, man. I shoot people. That's kind of what I do, I guess.
I shoot things.
Shoot things and break my legs. That's my that's
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
thing. That's my thing.
Dragnerz, thank you so much for joining us today. Really
Thank you.
appreciate you coming on
Yes,
and
big thank
It was
you.
a
Thanks for
pleasure.
having me.
giving us your insight. Shout yourself out. Tell everyone where they can find you and plug anything you want to plug.
Yeah, so you can find me on twitch.tv/Dragnerz. That's where I stream. I stream 3 days a week. Normally on, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. I just changed my times a little bit. Although this week I'm streaming on Tuesday because it's my birthday.
Hey.
And
Oh, happy birthday.
thank you. And yeah, I do a lot of different stuff. You can also find me on Instagram, also Dragnerz, and YouTube, also Dragnerz. And that's it.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Condi,
For
what
coming
about
on.
yourself?
Yeah, I'm Condi Fly. You can find me Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff. I'm actually, so I'm gonna go live right after this, more or less, for some Warzone. I'm doing like a double stream today because I'm gonna be away most of next week because my new
Why,
computer comes on
Condi?
Tuesday.
Why?
My new computer is gonna be here, and I'm gonna basically,
Mhm.
I'm gonna take a few days off just to get everything set up, make sure it all works, and do some upgrades to the stream. Probably some new channel points things now that I have all this inspiration. So yeah, I'm gonna do another stream today on that. But more importantly, the podcast. If you are watching live and you like what you heard, we have a Spotify with all our previous episodes and a YouTube channel. We also have a community Discord. And if you are listening on any of the audio platforms or anything like that, we do this live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Zero Strategy Podcast. Come and hang out so you can ask us questions live. And Twitter @Zero Strategy Pod if you're interested as well. Again, huge thank you to Dragnerz for joining us today. Make sure to go give a follow. The links are in the chat and it will be linked in the show notes as well. We're going to go raid somebody, so please do stick around for that. And we should have another guest next week for some more good conversation. Thank you very much, guys.
Yay.
We will see you next time. Later.
Bye.
Bye.